My fiancée chose her ex over me and asked for a break before our wedding, so I canceled everything, sold the house, moved away, and rebuilt a better life alone. Hey guys, long-time lurker here. I finally made an account to get this off my chest because I'm going through some wild stuff right now. I'm Jake, 32, male, and up until a few weeks ago, I thought I had my life pretty much figured out. About 4 years back, I met this girl, I'll call her Brittany, 29, female, at my buddy's house party. She caught my eye right away, blonde, fit, with this confidence that just pulled me in. We started talking, and man, the way she kept laughing at my jokes and touching my arm, I knew I wanted to see where this could go. We hit it off quick. She's a graphic designer, does freelance work for some big clients. Our schedules matched up real nice. We'd catch dinner after work, spend weekends hiking or checking out new restaurants. The chemistry was amazing too, if you know what I mean. After dating for about a year, moving in together just made sense. I had this nice place in a good neighborhood. 2-bedroom, updated kitchen, the stuff that matters. Brittany moved in with her clothes, some furniture, and these plants she was obsessed with. Living together was surprisingly easy. We didn't have those annoying fights about dishes or laundry that my buddies were always complaining about with their girlfriends. Fast forward 3 years and things were solid between us. We started talking about marriage, kids, all that future stuff. I'd been saving up for a while and finally got her this ring. I spent way more than I probably should have, but I wanted it to be special, you know. Not crazy fancy, but the kind that makes her friends jealous but doesn't scream trying too hard. I proposed during this weekend trip to the mountains. Got down on one knee with this perfect sunset behind us. Total rom-com moment, but it felt right. Brittany cried, the good kind of crying, and said yes before I even finished asking. That night, we stayed up late talking about wedding plans and our future together. We picked October for the wedding. Found this awesome venue by a lake about an hour outside the city. Put down deposits, started looking at catering options, the whole 9 yards. My parents even threw in some cash to help with costs, though I was covering most of it. That's just how I am. I like handling the big stuff. Brittany got super into planning. She'd send me these Pinterest boards with flowers and table settings, dragged me to taste cakes, which honestly wasn't bad. Free cake, I'm in. She had all these specific ideas about colors and decorations that I didn't really get, but seeing her excited made me happy. I was handling the practical stuff, budget, venue contracts, that kind of thing. Honestly, life seemed perfect. I had the career going well, regular promotions coming in, had the girl, had the house, had the future all mapped out. My buddies were either jealous or making whip jokes, but I could tell they respected what I had going on. Even my dad, who's super hard to impress, told me he was proud of how I'd settled down right. That's where things stood a few months back before everything went sideways. So about 6 months before the wedding, I started noticing changes in Brittany. Nothing major at first, just little things that seemed off. I'm pretty observant, got to be in my line of work, so these small shifts didn't slip by me. The wedding planning that had Brittany all excited suddenly became something she kept putting off. Earlier, she'd text me dress options during work or call me about which flowers to pick. Now, when I'd ask basic stuff like, hey, did you decide on your bridesmaids yet? She'd just shrug and go, not yet, still thinking about it. Same deal with her dress, the cake, the DJ, all the things she used to obsess over. I remember asking her about finalizing the centerpieces, and she literally said, there's still plenty of time, Jake. We don't need to rush everything. This, coming from the girl who made a 6-month countdown calendar for our wedding that was hanging on the fridge. Then there was the phone thing. Brittany started guarding that iPhone like it contained nuclear codes, always face down when I was around, taking calls in another room or the bathroom, texting with this little smile on her face. When I'd walk by, she'd quickly switch apps. Classic sketchy behavior, right? At first I thought maybe she was planning some surprise for me or something, but deep down, I knew that wasn't it. I didn't make a big deal about it though, didn't want to come off as the jealous, controlling boyfriend. Plus, I wanted actual evidence before saying anything. That's when the real eye-opener happened at this party with our friends. Someone suggested playing this stupid TikTok game where you answer questions without thinking. Most questions were silly stuff, like what's your most embarrassing moment or who would you swap lives with for a day? Then came the question, if you could relive one relationship from your past, which would it be? Without even hesitating, Brittany said, definitely Ryan. The whole room went quiet for a second. Ryan was her college boyfriend. They dated for like 2 years before we met. According to Brittany, he was her first serious relationship, the guy who supposedly broke her heart when he cheated on her with some girl from his study group. Our friend Sam tried to smooth things over with some joke, but man, that moment felt weird. I kept my face neutral, but inside I was like, what the actual hell? Who says that in front of their fiancé? Later that night when we got home, I casually brought it up, tried to keep it light. So, Ryan, huh? Interesting choice for that question. She instantly got defensive. Oh my god, it was just a stupid game, don't read into it. I was just saying the first thing that came to mind. And sure, but of all your exes, that's who you'd want to relive a relationship with? The guy who cheated on you? She rolled her eyes. Jake, seriously, it doesn't mean anything. Can we not make this into a thing? I dropped it after that. Didn't seem worth fighting over, but it stuck with me. After that night, I started paying more attention. I noticed she'd been searching Ryan's name on Instagram. Found out through a mutual friend that Ryan had actually moved back to town a couple of months ago after his divorce. Convenient timing, right? And then came Brittany's best friend, Kelly. That girl was hanging around our place a lot more. She'd be there when I got home from work, sitting with Brittany at the kitchen island, their conversation stopping abruptly when I walked in. Kelly would give me this weird smile and say something like, just girl talk, before changing the subject. I overheard Kelly one night when I came home early. She was sitting with Brittany on our couch. So, you're telling me you never think about Ryan anymore? Like at all? Kelly was saying. I mean, it was years ago, Brittany replied, not sounding very convincing. But he was your first real love, Kelly pushed. Those never really go away. I made some noise in the hallway and suddenly they were talking about some TV show. At the time I thought it was odd but didn't think too much of it, just friends reminiscing, right? Kelly would make these little comments too, stuff like, marriage is such a huge step, you want to be absolutely sure, or you're still so young. Most people don't settle down until their 30s now, always when Brittany was in earshot, always with this concerned look on her face, like she was just looking out for her friend. I'd catch Brittany looking thoughtful after these conversations, quieter than usual. Like one time she sat in front of me. Jake, do you ever wonder if we're moving too fast? She asked out of nowhere. I was confused. Too fast? We've been together 4 years. I know, but... She twisted her engagement ring around her finger. Kelly was saying how her cousin got married young, and now she's divorced at 27 because she didn't experience enough life first. Since when do we make life decisions based on what Kelly's cousin did? I asked, trying to keep it light. Brittany shrugged. I'm just saying maybe there's wisdom in making sure we're not rushing. I told her, babe, we've lived together for 3 years. The wedding's in 6 months. I wouldn't call that rushing. She nodded but didn't seem convinced. Yeah, you're right. But the seed was planted and that only grew more questions around her in my mind. Then she started coming home late from work, drinks more often. Her stories about where she was and who she was with had little inconsistencies. Nothing major enough to call her out on, but enough to make me suspicious. We were just sitting there, her phone on the table in front of me, when a notification popped up. I didn't even get a chance to read it, just saw the screen light up before I could react. She practically lunged for it, nearly knocking over her drink in the process. I raised an eyebrow. She fumbled with some excuse. Just a group chat, nothing important. Her voice was too quick, too forced. I leaned back, keeping my expression neutral. I didn't say anything, but I didn't have to. That reaction alone set the alarm off. Little things kept piling up after that. Texts she angled her screen away for. Dates when her stories didn't line up. Not proud of it, but I even checked our shared cloud. Found pictures of her at restaurants she never mentioned. Places we'd never been together. Little did I know how bad it was about to get. Then one day, everything finally came out in the open. I got home from work earlier than usual, thinking maybe Brittany and I could grab dinner at that Italian place she likes. Walking through the door, I immediately felt something was off. Brittany was sitting on our couch, still in her work clothes, staring at her phone with this weird nervous energy. Hey babe, I said, dropping my keys in the bowl by the door. You hungry? Thought we could hit up Marshall. She jumped a little, like she hadn't heard me come in. Oh, Jake, we need to talk. Words no guy ever wants to hear, right? My stomach instantly knotted up, but I kept my face neutral. I'd been half expecting something like this for weeks. All right, I said, sitting down across from her. What's up? She couldn't even look me in the eye, just kept fidgeting with the edge of a throw pillow. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately about us, about the wedding. I waited, not helping her out. After what felt like forever, she finally continued. I think I need some time, some space to figure things out before we get married. Time for what exactly? I asked, even though I already had a pretty good idea. She took a deep breath. To make sure this is what I really want. Marriage is such a huge commitment, Jake. I need to be certain before we do this. And how exactly are you planning to find this certainty? I kept my voice steady, watching her squirm. That's when she dropped the bomb I'd been expecting. Ryan reached out to me a few weeks ago. We've been talking, and I think there might still be something there. I feel like I need to explore that before I can fully commit to marriage. Inside, I was love-furious. All the planning, the deposits, the years together, and she wants to hit pause to check if her ex is a better option. But outwardly, I stayed calm. Getting emotional wouldn't help me here. So, you want to put our engagement on hold while you go see if your ex-boyfriend is more your style? I asked flatly. It's not like that, she insisted, finally looking at me. This isn't about comparing you two. It's about making sure I'm not having doubts. If it doesn't work out, we can pick up right where we left off. I promise. Promise, I'll come back? The love audacity. Like I'm some toy she can put on a shelf while she tests out a different model, like I'd just be sitting here waiting for her to decide I was good enough after all. She kept talking, and I noticed something weird. Some of the phrases she was using sounded exactly like Kelly. I need to honor my feelings and explore unresolved emotions. That wasn't how Brittany talked. That was Kelly speak. Did Kelly suggest this break? I asked suddenly. Brittany's eyes widened a bit. What? No, I talked to her about my feelings, but this is my decision. So, you talked to Kelly about Ryan before talking to me? She shifted uncomfortably. Kelly's my best friend. She knows my history with Ryan. And what exactly did Kelly say when you told her you were thinking about reconnecting with your ex? Brittany looked down at her hands. She said I owe it to myself to be sure that it's better to figure this out now than have regrets after we're married. Of course she did. I'd seen Kelly texting Brittany a lot lately, always with this concerned look when they were together. Now I was starting to see the whole picture. How long are you thinking this break would last? I asked, sounding more curious than pissed off. She seemed relieved I wasn't shouting. Maybe a month. I'll stay at my mom's while I figure things out. I knew for a fact her mom lived over an hour away. No way was she planning to commute from there. She was going to stay with Ryan, guaranteed. I nodded slowly, like I was considering it. If that's what you need. You're not mad? She asked, surprise all over her face. I shrugged. We all got to do what's best for us, right? Take your time. She looked so relieved it was almost funny, like she'd expected a big fight and was getting off easy. She hugged me tight, thanking me for understanding, completely missing how tense my body was. While she packed a bag, I ordered takeout and acted like everything was normal. Made small talk about work, asked if she needed help carrying stuff to her car. The perfect understanding fiancé. When she left, promising to call me in a few days, I waited until her car was out of sight before locking the door and letting my real feelings show. I punched a pillow so hard feathers went flying, then paced around our living room, my mind racing with what I needed to do. She thought I was sitting here like a chump, waiting for her to explore things with Ryan and graciously take me back when she was done. Hell no. That's not how this was going to play out. The second her car disappeared down the street, I stopped the nice guy act. Time to get my love together and move fast before she changed her mind and tried coming back. First thing I did was call my boy Marcus. We've been tight since college. He was my roommate freshman year, and now he's a lawyer specializing in asset protection. I shot him a text, need to talk ASAP privately. Dude cleared his schedule for me the next morning. That's a real one right there. Second call was to Sarah, my realtor. She helped me buy the house 2 years ago. Remember when I mentioned maybe selling in a year or two? Plans changed, need to list ASAP. Sarah's cool as hell, didn't even ask questions about the sudden change. I also called the wedding venue. Something's come up. What's your cancellation policy? Found out I could get 60% of my deposit back if I canceled within the week. Not great, but better than nothing. After that, I went through my list and contacted every single vendor, photographer, caterer, DJ, florist. Some deposits were completely gone, others, I could get partial refunds. Whatever, it was just money. The important thing was making sure everything was dismantled before Brittany had a chance to weasel her way back. Next morning, Marcus laid it all out for me in his office. The house was 100% in my name. Brittany had credit problems, so I took the mortgage myself. That meant I could sell without her signature. The engagement ring was legally mine until marriage, thank God, and since we weren't married yet, I was in the clear to protect myself. You know you dodged a bullet here, Marcus said while we went over paperwork. Imagine if this happened after the wedding. For real, though, splitting assets and divorce would have been a nightmare. The house went on the market that afternoon. Sarah priced it aggressively to sell quick, still profitable in our hot market. I started packing my essential stuff and rented a storage unit for the rest. While cleaning out the home office, I found something interesting, a folder marked personal in Brittany's desk. Being the suspicious dude I now was, I looked inside. Holy love. Credit card statements showing over $42,000 in debt she'd never told me about, designer clothes, spa trips, and, this is the best part, A weekend getaway from 2 months ago when she claimed to be visiting her sister. Hotel charges in a town 3 hours away, restaurant bills for 2. Man, she'd been planning this Ryan reunion for months. Looking closer at the dates, I noticed something interesting. Brittany's secret spending started ramping up right around when Kelly got promoted at her law firm. Suddenly, there were shopping trips, expensive dinners, weekend getaways, a $700 charge at some designer boutique the day after Kelly's promotion party. It clicked. Then Kelly had always lived large, designer everything, fancy car, luxury apartment, and suddenly Brittany was trying to keep up, hiding the bills from me. I remembered Kelly's comments at dinner once. "You work too hard to not treat yourself, Britt, and life's too short to worry about saving all the time." Brittany had always been smart with money before Kelly's influence went into overdrive. Now she was drowning in secret debt while trying to maintain the lifestyle Kelly had normalized. Just another way her best friend had been undermining us without me realizing it. I took pictures of everything and kept packing. After a week into Brittany's break, she texted to check in, acting all casual. "Hey, how are you doing? Miss you." I kept my responses vague but positive. "All good here, taking care of some business stuff. How's your mom's place?" She had no clue I knew she wasn't at her mom's at all. My buddy Dave saw her and Ryan having dinner downtown 3 days after she left, playing house with her ex while keeping me as the backup plan. 2 weeks in, something unexpected happened. Kelly, Brittany's so-called best friend since college, called me out of nowhere. "Can we meet for coffee? There's something you should know." I was suspicious but curious, so I agreed. Kelly had always been cool. The smart one in Brittany's friend group, pre-law, ambitious, actually had her love together. She was waiting at Starbucks when I got there, looking nervous. After some small talk, she dropped the bomb. She'd known about Ryan for months. Brittany had been planning this break since he moved back to town, confiding in Kelly about her conflicted feelings and how she needed to explore her options before settling down. "She's been lying to you, and it's not right," Kelly said, her hand brushing against mine on the table. "You deserve better than being someone's plan B." I thanked her for coming clean but didn't show all my cards. "I appreciate your honesty." As I got up to leave, Kelly grabbed my arm. "I've always thought Brittany was an idiot for not appreciating what she has with you. Some of us would never take that for granted." The look she gave me made her meaning crystal clear. Interesting twist. Over the next week, Kelly kept texting, first with more dirt on Brittany and Ryan, then with more personal messages, asking about my day, sending gym selfies, suggesting dinner to talk more about the situation. I played along, meeting her for dinner one night. She showed up looking hot as hell, clearly having put in extra effort. Throughout dinner, she kept touching my arm, laughing extra hard at my jokes, making it obvious she was available. "I've always been attracted to you," she admitted after dinner, "but I respected your relationship with Brittany. Now, though." I smiled and let my hand rest on hers. "Now things are different. I didn't take it further even when she invited me up. That wasn't my endgame. But having Kelly in my corner was useful info that Brittany would soon discover. Meanwhile, the house sold in just 9 days, $15,000 above asking price. I closed the deal and moved my remaining stuff to a sick apartment downtown. I also accepted a promotion at work that I'd been on the fence about. It came with a fat raise but required relocating to our Seattle office. My life was completely transforming while Brittany remained clueless, still thinking I was at home waiting for her to finish finding herself. 3 weeks into her break, she texted that she wanted to meet that weekend to talk about us. Her timing couldn't have been better. Everything was in place. What she didn't know was that I'd already sold our house, canceled our wedding, packed my stuff, and lined up my new job in Seattle. Oh, and her bestie had been blowing up my phone with flirty texts and pics all week. Game time. I suggested meeting Brittany at this coffee shop downtown, neutral territory, public enough that she couldn't make a scene, or so I thought. I got there early, grabbed a corner table and waited. When she walked in, I could tell she was in full win-him-back mode, hair freshly done, wearing this green dress she knew I liked, full makeup, the works. Her face lit up when she spotted me, rushing over with this big smile like we were in some rom-com reunion scene. She went for a hug that I barely returned, just a quick pat on the back. "I've missed you so much," she gushed. Sitting down across from me, these past few weeks have been really eye-opening. I just sipped my coffee and let her talk. She launched into this whole speech that sounded rehearsed as hell, all about how seeing Ryan again had given her the closure she needed and made her realize I was truly the one. How she was ready to fully commit to our future and couldn't wait to become my wife. Like I was supposed to just be waiting around with open arms, please. When she finally stopped to breathe, I smiled. "You done?" Her expression faltered a little. "What? I'm asking if you're done with your little speech." She blinked, clearly confused by my tone. Jake, I'm trying to tell you I want to come home, that I choose you. I leaned forward. That's interesting timing because I just sold our house. The color drained from her face. You what? Sold it. Closed last week. Made a nice profit, too. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. But where are you living? Got a sweet place downtown. Just until next month when I move to Seattle for my new position. Her mouth opened and closed like a goldfish. Seattle? New position? What are you talking about? I took another sip of coffee. Oh, and I canceled the wedding. Lost some deposits, but most vendors were pretty understanding when I explained the situation. Tears started welling up in her eyes. You canceled our wedding without even talking to me? I let out a cold chuckle. Oh, you mean like how you talked to me before running off to explore things with Ryan? Right. You didn't ask. You informed me. So I did the same. I met her stare, unshaking. You wanted space? Congrats. Now you've got all the space in the world. This isn't fair at all, she cried, getting louder and making people at nearby tables look over. I just needed some time to be sure. I shrugged. And I needed to move on with my life. By the way, I found your credit card statements. The $42,000 in debt you've been hiding, including that weekend you definitely weren't at your sister's. That's your problem now. Her face crumpled as reality hit. Her safety net was gone. Her backup plan had vanished. We can still fix this, she pleaded, reaching for my hand across the table. We can push back the wedding, find another house. Her phone buzzed on the table. A text notification from Kelly lit up the screen. Did he buy the love apology, LOL? Brittany's eyes went wide as she grabbed her phone, but it was too late. I'd seen it, and she knew I'd seen it. Kelly's been texting you, she looked baffled. Among other things, I said with a slight smile. Though, to be honest, I've been more interested in getting to know Jess from my office. She's been incredibly supportive through all this. That part was actually true. While Kelly had been throwing herself at me, mostly to get back at Brittany, I found out later, Jess from accounting had been genuinely cool, letting me vent, helping me navigate the relocation paperwork, just being a real friend. Something that might turn into more in Seattle, but I was taking it slow. No need to tell Brittany all the details, though. You've been seeing other people, she asked, voice cracking. While I was gone? No, Brittany. I've been rebuilding my life while you were cheating on me with your ex. There's a difference. She broke down, started full-on crying then, mascara running down her face. People were definitely staring now. Please, Jake, I made a terrible mistake. I love you. We can start over. Please give me another chance. I stood up, dropping cash for the coffee. That's the thing, Britt. I already have started over, and my new life doesn't have room for someone who treats me like an option. As I walked toward the door, she called after me. What am I supposed to do now? I turned back one last time. I hear Ryan's available. Word is he's already seeing someone new. Tough break. The look on her face was priceless, like she couldn't process that her carefully laid plans had completely blown up in her face. Walking out of that coffee shop felt like dropping 100-pound weight I didn't even know I was carrying. For weeks, I'd been so focused on the logistics, selling the house, canceling the wedding, setting up my move, that I hadn't processed my emotions. But in that moment, walking away from her tears and manipulation, I felt love-free. Later that night, the texts started coming in. First apologetic, I'm so sorry, please can we talk? Then angry, I can't believe you sold our house without telling me. Then desperate, I'll do anything to fix this, anything. I didn't respond to any of them. What was there to say? The next day, her mom called me. Apparently, Brittany had shown up at her place in hysterics, telling some twisted version of events where I was the bad guy. Classic. Her mom actually seemed surprised when I calmly explained the real situation, including the Ryan stuff. I had no idea she was even in contact with him, her mom said, sounding genuinely shocked. She told me you two were just taking a break to think about the wedding. Well, now she has all the time in the world to think, I replied. And yeah, it's been 3 months since the coffee shop showdown with Brittany, and holy love, has my life changed. Seattle is awesome. My apartment has a sick view of the water. I can literally see the Space Needle from my living room. The tech scene here is insane, and my new position has me heading up an entire division. More money, less stress, and actual respect from upper management. Wild how quickly things can turn around. But y'all want the drama, so let me catch you up on how everything wrapped up back home. About a week after I moved, I got a weird message request on Instagram. It was from Ryan. Yeah, that Ryan. Didn't see that coming. He sent this long paragraph about how he never meant to cause problems between me and Brittany, claimed that she had contacted him first, way before she asked for our break. According to him, she'd been messaging him for months after finding out he moved back to town, carefully planning her little exploration while I was busting my a-hole at work and planning our wedding. The best part? Ryan ended things with Brittany just days after our coffee shop meeting. His exact words: "If she could do this to you, she could do it to anyone. Karma's a witch, ain't it?" Through mutual friends, I heard Brittany's professional life took a nosedive too. Remember all those freelance clients she had lined up? Most of them found other designers. Not because I said anything bad about her. I didn't need to. Word gets around in the industry, especially in a city our size. One of her biggest clients actually reached out to me. "We heard what happened with the engagement," they said. "We're looking for someone who can commit to long-term projects. Do you know any reliable designers?" I recommended my friend Alex, who needed the work. They got the contract, Brittany got nothing. Her social media meltdown was something to see. First came the sad quotes about losing your soulmate and realizing what you had too late, then angry posts about toxic people who can't handle personal growth. Finally, desperate attempts to show everyone how amazing her life was going. Her last big announcement was about starting her own design firm. 3 days later, a friend saw her sending out job applications at the local coffee shop. Guess, that business venture didn't pan out. Last week, her sister messaged me. "Brittany's been staying with their parents for the past month, claiming she needs time to heal from our breakup." Her sister's exact words: "She really thought you'd wait for her. When she found out you sold the house and moved across the country, it completely shattered her fantasy." Good. Reality checks are important. The most satisfying moment came during a video call with our old friend group. They were filling me in on local gossip, and someone mentioned seeing Brittany at a cafe trying to explain to a potential client why her portfolio website was down. Turns out she forgot that I was the one who set it up and maintained it. She couldn't figure out how to renew the hosting when it expired. Not my problem anymore. My new life here is coming together better than I could have imagined. I started taking Spanish lessons. Even adopted this goofy rescue dog named Moose. Dude's a better companion than Brittany ever was. Doesn't lie about where he's been and is actually excited to see me when I get home. The tech community here is super welcoming. Last week, I was asked to speak at this developer conference. Something that never would have happened if I'd stayed in my comfort zone back home. It's crazy how much you can accomplish when you're not dragging dead weight. I had one final interaction with Brittany about a month ago. She emailed, asking for some old photos from our shared cloud account. I'd already downloaded what I wanted and closed the account weeks earlier. Her email said, "I know you're trying to erase me from your life, but you can't just delete our memories. Those 4 years meant something." My reply was simple: "You're right. Those years taught me what I don't want in a partner. Thanks for the lesson." Some mutual friends think I'm being too harsh. They say I should be more understanding of her moment of confusion. But that wasn't a moment. It was a calculated decision to keep me as a safety net while she pursued what she thought was a better option. As for Kelly and that whole situation, we hooked up a couple of times before I moved, but there wasn't anything real there. She was more about getting back at Brittany than actually being with me. I'm cool with that. We both got what we wanted. Jess from work ended up transferring to the Seattle office too. We've been dating for about a month now, taking it slow, but it's good. She's straightforward, ambitious, and doesn't play games. Night and day compared to what I had before. The biggest lesson from all this? When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Don't wait around hoping they'll suddenly become a better person. Brittany showed me exactly who she was. Someone willing to put our entire relationship on pause to test drive an ex. I'm just glad I found out before we signed those marriage papers. Now I'm in an awesome city with a killer job, making new friends and feeling positive about the future. The pain of betrayal has been replaced by straight-up gratitude for dodging that bullet. Thanks for following along with my story, Reddit. Your comments and messages helped more than you know. Going to sign off now. Moose needs a walk, and I've got dinner plans with Jess. Life goes on, and sometimes it goes on way better than you could have imagined.